Good morning. Today's the first day we're not going to be using workbooks. What I want you to do is get out your whiteboard and we're going to do some review today. So let's get started. Our first problem seems pretty easy to you by now, I'm sure. 9 plus 5. What we're going to do is we're going to solve it two different ways. We're going to do a drawing and then we're going to do the number bond way. So watch what I mean. We're going to draw 9. And remember, we're going to draw it in a 10 frame. So we can only have 5 on top, 5 on bottom. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's our 9. And now we need to draw 5 more. So I'm going to fill in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what do I have? I have 10, because my whole 10 frame is filled, plus the 4 on the outside, and we know 10 4 is 14. So that's one way to solve it. Now, let's do the number bond way. So if I rewrite it, 9 plus 5, what I got to do is I have to bring that 9 up to a 10. So the way I do that is I have to put a caret underneath the 5, and I'm going to give the 9 1. So I'm going to put the 1 here. But my question is, how many does that leave us with over here? Yes, if you said 4, that's absolutely right, because you know 4 plus 1 more is 5. So we no longer have 5, we have a 1 and a 4. So I'm going to circle my friend of 10, and I know 9 plus 1 equals 10. But I'm not done there. I have to remember to bring my 10 down here, add it to the number I didn't use, which is 4, and that gives me my answer of 14. And you'll notice we came up with the same answer. And that's what you want, the same answer. Now, from there, what we did was we started adding tens together. Now, one thing I wanted you to notice is that the 0 is in the ones place. Are the zeros changing? No, the zeros aren't changing at all because we're adding tens. So we know that the ones place is going to stay the same. So really, all you need to do is add your tens, and you all know what 2 plus 2 is. That's 4. So look how quick and easy that was. Now, to prove my answer, what I can do is draw some quick tens. So I have 20, 10, 20. I have 20 more, 10, 20. Let's count it. 10, 20, 30, 40. Does it match? Absolutely. So that's how you add your tens. That one's pretty quick and easy. Then we said, okay, we're going to add tens to a 2-digit number, just like this. Now, again, this one, what we did was we broke down this number here to make it a little easier for us. And the way we did that was we broke it down into tens and ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a caret underneath here. Now I want you to listen to the word 35. Did you hear it? 35. So I'm going to put 30 here and 5 here. 35. So then I'm going to go ahead and circle my tens, and I'm going to add 30 plus 20. Now again, it's easy to do because we just did it over here. Remember, your ones aren't changing, so I can go ahead and fill that in here. And now all I have to do is add my tens. 3 plus 2 more. Well, I know 2 plus 2 is 4, so 3 plus 2 must mean it's 5. But I'm not done there. I now have to bring this 50 here and add it to the number I didn't use, which is here. So 50 plus 5 is 55. And that's your answer. Now, if you wanted to, now that you have gotten really good at addition, you could have done this. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. So you would have gotten it that way as well. Let's take a look at our last one. Our last one is a little more tricky. So we learned lots of different ways to solve this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you 2 of those ways. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw myself some quick tens and ones. So I have 47. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 47. Okay? Now, you'll notice I left room because you want to have your tens with your tens, your ones with your ones. So I have 25. So I have 10, 20. Now, here's the 5. I know I have 7 here, but How many do I have to give that to make it a 10? Yes, 3 of them. So I'm going to add 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I should make those X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I can go ahead and make that a 10. So let's see what we have. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72. 72 is what I came up with. Now, let's do it a different way. Let's rewrite our problem just like this. And let's give it a go. Remember, we're going to put our box here and draw our line. So, what's 7 plus 5? Because we always start with our ones. So we're going to go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I can't write 12 down here. I have to have my 10s in my 10 column, my 1s in my 1 column. So I'm going to write 12 like this. 1, 10, 2 1s. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect these two. 4 plus 1 is 5. And 5 plus this 2 here, 5, 6, 7. 7. I just came up with the same answer I came up with here, which is 72. And that's how you solve that problem. So you'll see that you guys have gotten really good at adding. So you started with just single digit, ended up with double digit, and it got a little more complicated, but you did it. So I just wanted to review with you real quick. Hold on for the next part of our lesson. Okay, here we have part of a hundreds chart. And what I want you to do is see if you can fill in some of these numbers. You don't have to write these. I just want you to watch and see if you can do it with me. So what we're doing is we're looking for patterns. And if you remember correctly, in our hundreds chart, we have a pattern going across, but there's also patterns going down as well. So let's take a look and see what we can come up with, okay? So let's look at the first row. Do you see anything that you could possibly fill in? I'm thinking this one here and this one here are probably the easier ones, right? So if we counted 23 something, 25, 26, I'll bet you fill this one in 27, right? And let's check it. Let's look on this row. 27, 37, 47. That seems to fit, right? It goes in a pattern because the 7s column stays the same, but the 10s are what changes. So that's good. So now let's go back. Let's count backwards. 27, 26, 25, yes, 24, 23, 22. Good job. So now, we can't really check everything yet because we don't have other things filled in. So let's keep going. So now, what I want us to do is start over here. Now, we're going to start from the top, and I want you to look at the column going down. So we have 22, 32. What do you think this one might be? That's right, 42. 42 goes here because that's the 2s column. And our 10s go up by 1 each time. Now, does that make it easier for us to fill in a couple of things? It should, right? We have 32, 33, 34, and let's check it. 24, 34, 44. Does that make sense? Yep. So 33, 34, 35, 36. So what we did was we were able to go across. And now look at, we can check this one. 26, 36, 46. That seems to match. Now, it just leaves us with 2 blanks. So now let's look at it going down. 23, 33, right? 43. And then the last one, 25, 35, 45. That's awesome. So now let's check the bottom. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Seems to match. So what I want you to do is remember, sometimes you're going to be given only parts of a hundreds chart, but what you need to do is you need to use what you have to figure out the missing numbers. So you need to look up and down, and you need to look side by side to see. And what you're actually doing is you're actually looking to see what is 10 more or 10 less, 1 more or 1 less. Because remember, when you're working on the hundreds chart, a jump down is like adding 10. A jump up is like subtracting 10. A jump forward is like adding 1. A jump backwards is like subtracting 1. So you need to remember that when using your hundreds chart. Hold on for the last part of our lesson. The last part of our lesson, what I want to do is I want to show you two different addition problems, and we're going to use that hundreds chart just like we practiced to figure out our answer and prove that our answer that we came up with is correct. Now, the reason I chose this one here is very specific. So we're going to rewrite this problem. We're going to rewrite it 57 plus 22. And we're going to go ahead and make our box and draw our line. Now, we're ready to go ahead and start adding. So we always start with our ones. So I'm going to start here. 7 plus 2 more. So we have 7, 8, 9. Now, here's my question for you. Do I need my box? Because remember, that box is for our tens. If I have the number 9, do I have any tens? No, I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 9 here because the 9 has to go in the ones. And I'm actually going to put an X through the box because we don't need it. So now all you need to do is add 5 plus 2 more. So 5, 6, 7. And that gives you 7. So my answer is 79. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use our hundreds chart. So we're going to start at 57. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add 22. But my question to you is, how do we do that? Remember, we have to jump down because we're adding, or across because we're adding. But what do we jump down? We have 22. So we have 2 tens. So watch this. We're going to go 10, 20. Now we have to go forward too. 21, 22. I came up with 79 just like I did here. So you can use the hundreds chart to help you solve hard problems like this. But the one thing I want you to keep in mind is that you don't always need that box. It's good to have it there, but if you don't need it, if your ones end up being 9 or under, then you just cross that off, okay? Now let's look at a different one. Let's look at 48 plus 16. Again, I'm going to rewrite my problem, 48 plus 16. So we're going to go ahead and draw our line and our box. Now, I need to add 8 plus 6. So we're going to punch 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I know my answer is 14, but I can't write 14 here. I have to separate it into tens and ones. So I'm going to put 1 10 and 4 ones here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a side caret here and add 4 plus 1 more, which is 5. So we're going to put the 5 here. 5 plus 1 more, because we can't forget that one, is 6. So my answer is 64. But what I'm going to do again is we're going to pull out our hundreds chart and we're going to put our finger on 48. And then what we're going to do is this time we're going to add 16. So watch how I do this. I know 16 has 1 10 and 6 ones. So here's my 1 10, and now I have to do my 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my answer is 64, just like I came up there. And that's the end of your review for today. So what I want you to remember from this piece is you don't always need that box, but what I want you to do is I want you to draw it anyway, so this way, if you do need it, it's there. If you don't need it, you just cross it off. And over here, I want you to remember that when you're adding, and you do use that box, you can't forget to add that last 10 in there. And when you're using your hundreds chart, remember, going down a box is adding 10, and then going forward and then down is adding ones. So you need to remember how to do both of those. I'll see you soon.